little more aware today, a little more senti today. Good evening, welcome back to In the Code. This is 6th September 2022, 8:47 p.m. and I'm running kinda late because I have to edit this and then go to the gym. Vlog number 53. It's gonna be a lot of noise from outside, huh? This is 7th day Visarjan. Woke up at 6 today. Snowy process. I've just put a tick here because I get a good smile where you take him down, he poops, and then you come back up and everything he comes back up and drinks water. Everything just happens perfectly. There was that kind of moment today. Then of course I did the C1 Cubic Worlds video. There's a hair coming out like in the last video was, which was about how you can have an emitter do things inside Blender. So in the CW shading workspace, diffuse of shader is plugged into the surface of material. What I will do is I will try to show it here once so that it's a lot easier to revise. Cube center, I'm gonna just delete it. And if I delete it, go to CW creating workspace. The way you essentially do it, you take a cube center. This is all cubic world stuff, okay? Come in here and actually the problem is the morning I had to make a duplicate of this shader. So originally it's over here, diffuse. It's like this in the normal shader. So what you have to do is you want to take it out of diffuse and put it into emission. Then inside emission, you wanna adjust the gradient, you wanna adjust the randomness and emission value. If you keep it at 1, it's still not a lot. So take it up to like 10, 15, 20, whatever. And then what you want to do is for that particle thing to happen, you can just come in here, take it on the side. And yeah, one important thing is for Eevee, you have to enable this thing called bloom, right, in render settings. So it feels like there's a good glow around it. Go to center, you just add a plane. Okay. GZ plane, bring it up, maybe scale it up a little. To this you want to add that fire thing, right? The way you go about doing it is you go into here and say particle properties, add one. Is it visible? Okay, no. Let's bring it a little down. Yeah. So add one, just call the system fire. And then now if you just play the simulation, you'll see that these random balls, they're following balls. Okay, wait, is it taking settings from... Okay, I just go through the settings anyway. Okay, these are falling down. You want to fall, want them to go up. So come to field weights and make gravity 0. Okay, first thing. So now they're going up and they're all the same thing and it's not like how you wanted. Okay, go to the start and I get a point. Over here, you want to change the render from halo to object and select this object that you've made. So now you have these cubes that are going up, but they're all very uniform and we don't want this level of uniformity. Nahin recording kar raha hai. Achha. So Snowy is eating the meal, which is good news again. That's how good news is for us in the house. Snowy has done it. Snowy has done that. You wanna randomize stuff. So add rotation, angular velocity, change it a bit. So you'll see things are going a bit random. You wanna change the number of particles. You want to change their lifetime. So currently it's at what? Even the lifetime of 250. Start at let's say negative 250. So it's already there at the beginning. Yeah, now you have something like this. Okay. Now what you want to do is a few more things. Like you can randomize it the way you want to. But one important thing I learned here is when you go into textures, you want to have this thing where the particles scale from 0, go to the value that they are at and then scale back to 0 instead of just popping out like this into oblivion. So you want to come in here, click on new and texture. You can call this fire. You click on this button, show texture in texture tab. Here you want to choose blend. Okay, this gives you a black to white gradient. Just come in here inside colors, color ramp. So you have this and linear, you want to make it linear to easing, and then you want to just dial up. First thing you want to do is influence not time but the size. So now the size will be influenced. Okay, and what you want to do is inside the color ramp you want to come in here and this will be black, and this here you can make it white. So it goes from black to white. The size goes from 0 to something and then at the end it goes back to 0. See here at the very end particles are at 0. So what you have to adjust here is, see, they are popping out depending on the lifetime. They're going back to 0. Okay, so this was one important thing I learned. And then of course as much as you want you can play around with the particle settings and that will do what you want to. Then third line starting work. Now this section of the video is going to be kind of controversial and kind of emotional roller coaster things like whatever. But yeah, the work that I did today was again on Rishikesh's videos that he hadn't completed. There was this changes, and at the end of the day, in fact, in the middle of the day, I completely made up my mind that I'm not fitting in this job anymore. And there are a couple of reasons for that. One is, of course, I have completely stopped enjoying my work. And I don't blame the agency or the company for it. It's just the nature of working for brands is you want to be going behind trends, and it's a lot more edit focused now, very little motion graphic work. And I personally have never identified myself as a video editor. Even though I edit videos and I can edit videos, I wouldn't consider myself as a video editor. As in, if somebody gives me a video editing job, I'd much rather not do it. It's just not something that brings the best out of me. It's always motion graphics or animation, character animation, or 3D animation and stuff like these, where I can constantly keep learning. So that's one point which is kind of secondary, but primarily I'm just feeling stuck. I'm feeling suffocated. I'm feeling like there's of course this thing that the day just goes by in a blink, and I just get like 15 minutes in the morning or 30 minutes in the morning to watch cubicles, and if this continues for long, how much am I gonna end up learning? That's a thing. But as long as that involves me learning and constantly growing in that entire day's hustle, I'm good with it. But currently I'm not. I'm just not growing through the day. I mean, one way I was looking at it was, okay, even those motion graphic animations, what I'll do is I'll make After Effects scripts for them, and then I could just quickly press a few buttons and do things that would take me a long time doing keyframes or expressions. But that's the thing, right? There is no motion graphic work at all. It's just editing work. And personally, I'm not a good editor. I don't understand how to give feedback to an edit, adding memes to an edit, making it fast cut. It's not something that I vibe with. I'm just like not a fan of it. And this entire thing may feel like, oh, I'm wanting to leave because of the work. I don't want to give that impression when I do end up sending an email or whatever. The main reason, primary reason for me has always been and will always be, I'm not learning. And learning as in what I want to learn, there is no way. Like, I'm going to learn 3D. I'm going to be working on 3D projects. And of course, this will come up in the discussions, which will be like set up to stop me from leaving. I mean, I don't know, it feels like I'm maybe giving myself over importance. It seems like there's gonna be a bit of a back and forth, and I can't just leave so easily. But I'm gonna be stern because I need to. That's pretty much it. Of course, now that I have kind of made up my mind that a couple more months, there's this fear that's like rushing up in like an endorphin rush when you're doing a body pump class. That's how the fear is rushing up. So just before this, I was trying to look at a few things that I can do when I like right now. It would be ideal if before I leave I could have at least Rajmeet Singh monetized. Shouldn't be that big a deal, right? But it kind of is. So one way could be I just make like simple gifs and loader stuff from Dribble and try to make a workflow video for it, which is a rather, I would say, cheap way of achieving what I want to. A more sophisticated way where I actually end up learning also is to do either of these things, right? Either I try to recreate these videos from Google, where they say Google privacy policy. There are I think 4 or 5 videos. I try to dissect the illustrations. This is all done in After Effects. Like, I can literally see how it is done. So it will also be like a good case study. There's do cues because there's character, and yeah, I want to just dissect this, and maybe this completely making this 43-second video, I can probably divide it into like 8 parts of 5 seconds or so. 8 or 5 or 8 parts. So 5 video series of just this one video, which would be like divided into illustration and then animation, and then maybe adding sound design in Premiere. So we have Illustrator, After Effects, and Premiere Pro, and maybe we don't need to do all of that in one single video, because then that video will be like 30 minutes long. So once I get the grip of how I want to go about doing this, I could be uploading 5 days a week, and then we just tackling with one part, like 8 seconds or 10 seconds of this video throughout the week, and trying to like recreate it the way it is, and maybe add my own flavor to it, because still, like an artist, we're trying to take inspiration and not trying to do plagiarism here. So of course I will change things up. I will probably make it Indian, or there's a lot that can be done, but this is a route that I want to go for with Rajmeet Singh Arora's YouTube channel. It's not that it's a deadline that I have to get the channel monetized, because once I do end up leaving, hopefully I will get a lot of time to do it. But yeah, I'm gonna be hanging off a cliff. Even though there's dad's work for backup, it's not technically my backup, right? I need my own backup of some sort. The premise is this: I want to take a year off, just an entire year off to learn. And like, for at no point was this job supposed to be like, oh, I'm chasing money or chasing security, chasing a paycheck. Like if I look at myself right now, I'm doing exactly what I would never want to do, doing something for a paycheck. But it's just something that has naturally happened, and I've like found myself caught and like just stuck. So to get out of it, take a year off. Like even if nothing happens after a year, I'm still 24. If like this time next year I'm gonna be 24, and let's say nothing turned out well, I can do that probably for the next 5 years, and I'll still be good, right? Thankfully, by God's grace. So what is the reason for me to be so comfortable and in my safety net? There is absolutely no reason. So I think this is like, the more I think about it, more I try to document it, the more I try to visualize or conceptualize the thoughts that I have in my mind, it makes a lot more sense now that it's the perfect time for me to take that leap. Like just take that leap. Nothing is gonna happen that will like destroy my life. Far from that. And even if a worst case situation happens where I'm like literally in a dire need for a job, I have enough knowledge, experience, skills now that I can get a job at any agency. I can probably not agency, but any place where they're making these kind of animations. I could apply and voila, you can get a job whenever I want to. Then why struggle the way I'm struggling right now? So yeah, I don't even know, because inthekhud is kind of secret, but it won't take a lot of time before it just gets noticed by people. Especially I don't want anyone in the office to be noticing this, especially this video, because it's kind of like my mindset, and I'm trying to vocalize it through the video and understand it a little better. So the timeline, the time bomb ticking is now down to 2 months and not 6 months. That's where life is right now. Thank you so much for being in the khud, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Peace.